I still kind of held myself back because I felt like I needed to be in the right space or the right time to launch this business. And it's hilarious to me now that I am launching it while I'm pregnant with my second child because I'm not waiting anymore. All lights are green. We're moving ahead. I love being a mother. It's incredible and it's beautiful, but I know there are so many other parts of me. Launching this business is providing myself the purpose and the grace to do it. I encourage you to not wait for whatever you are wanting to do to launch to have to be. Don't hold back from something if you are holding back because you think you need to be in the next era of your life, or you need to have a little more money, or you need to have more time. Like, just go for it, you guys. This is the Mindful Malibu Morning. I'm Casey Barneson, your host, counselor, and friend. Join me for discussions surrounding personal growth, self-development, and mental health and wellness, helping you to live your life full of passion and purpose and really diving into those deeper conversations. Join me each week for full episodes on a variety of topics to help you live your best life. And join me on Instagram at the Mindful Malibu Morning. I'm so happy you are here. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another week, another episode. I am so grateful that you are here and excited to share some updates and things that are going on. If you completed the 4-day mini meditation series, I want to congratulate you. And I hope that you have given yourself the kudos for giving yourself the time and the space for that mental clarity. The reason why I created the series was because I found that I really needed that short commitment, nothing too crazy. Each episode was less than 10 minutes and they built on each other, which was really great. So there was a theme to each episode and it grew and it built so that as you got more comfortable with the guided meditations, you really started to feel that benefit. And it also had a lot of call to actions in the meditations, like manifesting, visualization, and really just grounding and centering. And I find when I get really busy, it can be hard to commit to a daily routine, to a workout, to a meditation, or whatever. And I really like these short bursts. I've always been someone who hasn't really done like huge, crazy challenges. I really like the idea of incorporating healthy habits into my life and mental health habits that serve me in a way that's positive, but aren't limiting. They're not overwhelming. And I'm not rubber banding back and forth between a bad habit and a good habit. I'm gentle with myself. I'm allowing space in case I need to miss a day. And I'm being very realistic about my time these days and investing in myself, but also in a sense where I'm not beating myself up if I'm not spending an hour and a half journaling, making tea and collagen and going to a Pilates class. I just am in a space where I'm really prioritizing myself, but I'm also being very realistic with my time and gentle and giving myself that grace. And I found that that's really worked for me because I know a majority of the time I'm serving my body and my mind in a way that is productive and useful, but it's not overwhelming. So if you are interested and you didn't do the challenge, I don't even want to call it a challenge. We don't call it a challenge here. It's a mini meditation series. If you didn't complete this series, you can always start at any point in time. They are located in the podcast episodes. They're in order 1 through 4, but you don't necessarily have to listen to them all in order. And you can also listen to them, like I just listened to one as I was putting on my makeup this morning because I felt like I just had a lot of erratic energy. It's Monday, and Mondays I wake up thinking that I have a lot of things that I need to accomplish. The weekend's over and it's go time. I found that my mind was a little bit racing. So whether that's like a gentle walk for you or a meditation, I just listened to it as I was doing my makeup. I didn't necessarily want to do a workout. I didn't want to sit and do a meditation, but I did want to do a little bit of a gentle mind clearing. And that was important to me. And that was really helpful. So those are accessible to you anytime you want. You can also listen to them on YouTube, and there's additional meditations there. If you are new to meditation and you're like, what is this, Casey? I've never done it. It feels weird. I might be embarrassed to do it. I totally get it. This podcast in this space is not necessarily meant for you to have to lean in fully into one thing or the other. It's really meant to give you tools and strategies to help you along the way and adapt to your daily life in a way that makes sense for you. So I created them in a way that I would want to receive them as a mom of one. And I have another surprise, which I'll share with you in a second. I'm very realistic again with my time and my energy. And so I hope you enjoy those and share them with a friend. If you know someone that seems a little bit stressed out, someone that might need a little grounding, a little centering, invite them to listen to the episodes. You guys can listen to it on a walk. You can just send them. They're on Instagram, YouTube, and the podcast episodes. So definitely check them out. Before we get into today's conversation, I invite you to just receive this information and give yourself kudos and props for taking the time and to listen to something that is really going to serve you. There's so much noise in our day to day. And when we make the choice to turn on a podcast episode that is educational or inspiring or motivating, you're serving yourself in the best way possible. So as we settle into this conversation together, I invite you just to bring that presence and awareness. Right now, I'm sitting in my kitchen. I'm overlooking outside and it's a little bit hazy. It's kind of the last week before it's going to get really, really hot and summer's officially here. So I'm enjoying this like in the cloud fogs kind of gently rolling over the green mountains that are in front of me. There's a ton of birds this morning. They're making quite a lot of noise. We also have ducks and geese and chickens and turkeys and sheep. And in the background, I can faintly hear them. And it's a reminder that, you're not alone. There are so many things functioning and working around you without you really having to do anything. This beautiful world that's around us, the trees that are growing, the weather that's changing, the animals that are moving in and out and through around us, regardless if you're in the city, if you are just waking up, if you're in your car, no matter how loud or how quiet it is, just settle into that present feeling. And you deserve that. You deserve to feel settled and you deserve to feel calm and you deserve to feel centered. And oftentimes we begin our days, we grab our phones and we just get off to the races and we are reacting. We're really reacting to everything around us. And my goal for you is to not necessarily just react, but to have that tiny pause between that reaction. And it's that tiny pause between that reaction that gives you perspective. It also gives you awareness. And I think it really gives you confidence because I don't know about you guys, but when I find that I just react to something, it really bums me out when it doesn't go my way. And I kind of like get upset with myself because I know that I'm reacting. I know that I'm just being emotional and reacting to something rather than kind of receiving the information and taking the time just a half a second to think how I really want to respond to what's in front of me. And I often find that when I take that pause, my answers are smarter. I serve myself in a better way. My boundaries are held easier. So as you walk through your day, wherever you're listening to this, just honor that for yourself. You deserve it. You are so worthy of this time. And I just always want to set that intention before we begin our conversation today. So you guys, I have some really exciting news. I am pregnant. I am 5 months officially, 20 weeks pregnant. And it is our second child. You guys know that I have a little one. I have a 1.5-year-old at home. And I tell you, this is a really exciting, beautiful time. It is also a time of unknown and newness and life changes. And that can always be a little bit scary, a little bit unsettling. But I don't know what it is about this one. Maybe I'm doing a little bit more work, but I'm feeling more at peace with entering this next phase of my life. I feel like with my first, I was so very much like preparing for this new thing that I had yet to do. It's almost like, having a baby and going to college, they're very two separate things. But if you are like preparing for something brand new that you've never entered before, whether that be like a marriage, a relationship, something scary, a huge move, or a pregnancy, just a big change in your life, you're kind of preparing for it. And so much time it's spent like checklists and Googling and reading books and making sure you have the right information. And then you do it and you kind of find your groove. You kind of figure out what works for you, and you don't necessarily need to rely on the books as much because you found your own way of interacting with this new thing. And so the second time around, I kind of feel like there's not this like, what's it going to be like? What's my life going to be like? And sure, I'm going to have a second child. So certainly our world is going to grow and be very different than our little family of 3. I'm sure I'm going to be a lot busier. But I also find this piece that I've done it before, and I've also seen that having a child doesn't absolutely have to change your life. Sure, you are forever changed in a way that you are always thinking of that other person. You always in the back of your mind are thinking of this little being that you have. And I think when you become a parent, that's a huge thing. Even if you have a pet, you start to think that way, right? If you're out at a party, if you're out at a barbecue, you're thinking like, okay, I got to get back home to make sure that I let the dogs out or that I feed this or that. Or, if they're sick, you want to tend to them. And a baby just is exacerbated in that sense. But there's also this greater sense of purpose. And I think the second time around, I realized I'm very much excited for it, but that scary, like, preparedness isn't really there anymore. And it's been really fun because I'm enjoying it. Like, it just doesn't seem as hard or scary. So, not that I forget that I'm pregnant. I very much know that I am pregnant through what I'm eating, through my growing belly, through everything, through my more tiredness, like all of those things. But I almost just like my life is continuing, and it's not necessarily having to be this crazy thing that is happening to me. And that's kind of a really cool feeling because it's just alleviated a lot of that external pressure that I think sometimes the first time can feel like so much. The second time, it's like, all right, great. We're going to have another kid. We're going to be through that newborn phase. We're going to be tired. We're going to go through a lot of bottles. We're going to be like grounded at home for a few months, and then we're going to settle into our new family, and we're going to move on with our lives with this other child, and our lives are going to look different, but our lives are going to continue. And I think so many times through life, especially like exiting college in your early 20s and then you enter your 30s, like there are these big kind of decade moments where you're shedding layers of yourself and you're shedding pieces of your identity. And I had this conversation with a girlfriend who went to an event, and she was almost like, oh my gosh, am I going to go to this event? Which was very much rooted in her past life. She was thinking if she was going to miss it, if she was going to feel like jealous of like not having that world as big of a part of her life right now. And it was a world that was more in her early to mid 20s. And I have completely felt that way. After we moved, I had a few girls' nights dinners out in Santa Monica where we used to live. And every time I drove out there, I got a little nervous because I thought that I would be really jealous, to be very honest. I thought that I would be jealous and sad because I no longer have that like bustling restaurant scene and my girls and my nights out. And it just was a former period of my life, but I just felt like I was missing out on something after I moved. And I didn't necessarily really know who I was and grounded in this new era of my life. And it's like this thing clicks in your mind when you kind of visit a prior portion of your life where, yeah, it was amazing and beautiful at the time, but as incredible as it was, we are meant to grow up. We're meant to grow out of those errors and accept and bring in something totally new. And gosh, it gets even better. And my girlfriend, after she left the event was kind of a dud. She went home, ruminated on it, and fell asleep, and then kind of woke up and was like, I'm not missing anything. Nothing's really happening in that world anymore. And it's this realization that we are growing up and we are not just growing older, but I think we're growing wiser and we are ready for that next phase in that next chapter. This next baby, I'm very much embracing just moving forward and being ready to get into that next phase of my life. And I think the word that I am searching here is acceptance. Not in a way that like I'm losing anything crazy, but just accepting that this is that next path for me. and it's okay and it's going to be fine. So I don't know if you guys are kind of in a transition mode right now or dealing with something similar. Would love to hear if you're getting into a new relationship, if you're just entering a marriage, if you are pregnant for your first time, your second, your third, your fourth time, if you're starting a new business, like if you are just kind of shedding an old layer of yourself and you're embracing something new and you're feeling really at ease with it, what clicked for you? There was this period when I first moved up to our new area in Malibu where I fought it a lot. It didn't really click for me. The community was really small. We were pretty isolated. My baby was still little. I left my job, so I just didn't really know what my purpose was. And I spent a lot of time walking. I walked throughout our property. I listened to the trees. I literally would sit on a bench and stare up and cry and ask for answers. I would go sit at a coffee shop and bring a notebook and just observe. I would go to the same grocery store to get to know the cashiers and the baggers and say hi. I would go to the same coffee shop again and meet the baristas. And I just kind of was sitting and searching and listening. And then it was that acceptance. I don't know what it was, but I accepted that this is my new space. This is where I'm supposed to be. And once I accepted it, you guys, gosh, the most beautiful things started happening. It was like the land around me and my world around me started sharing answers in my face. I had a colleague reach out with a local work opportunity of something that I could only dream of years ago. I started meeting people through events. My husband and I got a routine with our house and we settled into this nice flow. Things started clicking, and anything that I felt kind of stuck and confused with started sharing and showing itself to me very transparently. And I think if I continued to fight it and wish what was or missed my past life, I don't think that I would have been ready to hear and accept and listen those answers. So that's a bit long-winded, you guys, but I feel like it's something that's just been on my chest recently, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. So what is it that you are transitioning out of and settling into? And what was that moment of acceptance for yourself? And when did it click? And what things are showing, are presenting themselves because you have? Because when you let go of something, you completely make space for something new. And when we are just hammering and hanging on to something, it 1,000% will be blocking us. So, what do you need to let go of, or what have you let go of that you have just accepted this new era, this new decade, this new space in your life? And I'm excited to hear. So, DM me on Instagram at the Mindful Malibu Morning. You can also share it in the comments and share this episode with a friend, you guys. I don't think we're alone in this, especially in those 20s, 30s, 40s. I think we just become more settled in ourselves, more confident, more clear. And we just don't necessarily miss the things that we used to do as much because I think we're getting closer to our purpose. And that, I don't know, makes me feel really happy. I'm excited for myself. I'm excited for you guys. And the last huge, I guess, mindset shift that this pregnancy has provided me is really the permission to continue on with my life, even though I have a big change that's looming ahead, that is scheduled ahead. This baby will come out. We will go from a family of 3 to a family of 4. It's happening. But with that, I think a lot of times when we are waiting for something new to come, if we don't feel like we're in the right space, or if we know a big change is coming up, sometimes we put our dreams and our other agendas on hold. And while certainly if you're in a place in your life where there is so much on your plate where you have to put a pin and pause something for your mental health, I completely get that. But I realized with my first pregnancy and other times in my life too, I felt that I would put projects on pause until I got to the next step. I couldn't write my book until I got to a certain space in my career. And then I realized, what am I waiting for? Write the book and reach out to the people. And I did. And I always really wanted to launch my own private consulting business. And I waited. I waited because I had all these kind of reasons as to why I needed to stay at the school rather than taking that leap. And those reasons changed all the time. One, it was maybe for finances. There was a stable paycheck. I didn't have the comfortability to leave yet. Another was, well, I'm dating, I'm enjoying. I kind of want to wait till I like settle in and find someone. Or I wanted more credibility, more experience under my belt. Then when I was pregnant with my first child, I certainly had this mindset, okay, I can't do anything until this baby is out and then we're settled in our new life. And then we'll navigate that new chapter. And this second baby, you guys, has given me so much grace, acceptance, and allowance. It's wild. I'm almost a little terrified for what this little soul inside of me is going to be doing in their life, because I have a feeling it's going to be something really special just by this energy that I feel. But the second baby, we don't need to wait. You're going to have a baby. You know, you have a period of time where you're more homebound and you need to heal because your body has gone through huge, huge trauma and you're caring for a little baby around the clock. But apart from that period of time, then it's like, let's go. Life is happening. We can get help. We can ask for help. We can shift our roles in our marriage to provide the space and the time, and we can keep this train moving. So at first, with my first baby, I really was like, okay, once I get to a certain spot, when I'm done breastfeeding, when I'm more in our home and he's on a good nap schedule and he's in with a school and a daycare, like I can take the days to do the business. And this second kid is, we're doing it. And I launched my official business a few months ago. I've been doing work on the side with individuals for well over 10 years now. But I don't know, I still kind of held myself back because I felt like I needed to be in the right space or the right time to launch this business. And it's hilarious to me now that I am launching it while I'm pregnant with my second child, because I'm not waiting anymore. I have a very clear time frame when I will be on pause with clients. And then apart from that, all lights are green. We're moving ahead. And it's a really great feeling because I love being a mom. I love being a mother. It's incredible and it's beautiful, but I know there are so many other parts of me, and I need and crave that purpose beyond being a mother. And launching this business is providing myself the purpose and the grace to do it. And I encourage you to not wait for whatever you are wanting to do to launch to have to be, unless of course you're in a time where you are really struggling with your mental health or wellness and you need to work with the counselor, therapist, do whatever you need to do to get in the right headspace. But don't hold back from something if you are holding back because you think you need to be in the next era of your life, or you need to have a little more money, or you need to have more time. Like, just go for it, you guys. I am teaching a class to professionals. They've been working for a number of years in the school system. And these are people who have a lot of other things on their plate, and they've decided to take this course to advance their career and shift their career paths. And it's been inspiring to see, like, they have kids. This is their second, third career. They have full responsibilities and they are doing homework at night. They are completing this course. And by the end of the course, the confidence and the pride that I see in these students for completing the course and shifting their priorities to themselves and asking for help from their family members and their friends so that they can coordinate childcare, they can ask for time off of work so that they can complete this next phase, this next goal of their life. It's a really cool thing to see. So, all to say, you don't have to be pregnant to go through like a huge realization. But I do think most of us are holding ourselves back from something that we might really want because of something that is more in our head than it is in our reality. So just do it, guys. Get after it. That is my advice for you today. And then finally, if you are interested, if you really enjoyed the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator episodes, that's a part 1 and a part 2 series that goes through the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. If you're interested in taking the assessment, I am offering a special for June. I am accepting clients to work individually. What you would get by working with me is the full Myers-Briggs Type Indicator assessment. It's a 93-question assessment that you take on your own time. It can take anywhere from 20 to max 40 minutes. And then you would work one-on-one with me for an hour session where we review your results, we do an interpretation, and then we go through different core areas of your life and see how you can use these tools and this language to better serve maybe an area that you're lacking, maybe an area that you feel like you need a little bit more clarity. So if you are interested in that, I'm only taking a small handful of people. I am providing a discount for the month of June. So if you are interested in that, you can DM me on Instagram at the Mindful Malibu Morning. You can comment in the show notes and I will send you the flyer and all of the details. And as long as you sign up by June 30th, I will give you that discount. So if you are interested, please reach out and I can provide you with more information. With that, I hope you guys have a beautiful week, an absolutely beautiful day. And thank you so much for joining on another episode of the Mindful Malibu Morning. I'll see you guys next week.